banned books / canceled position, which the canceling position got much more popular in the last couple of years, especially with the political divide that's going on and the injection of politics into everything freaking non-political. Let's just make everything political and then sell everything on hatred and division. That's not what today's video is about. But banned books has been at the top of has been so lucrative, I should say, that even Barnes and Noble have tables of banned books or shelves of banned books, and it's a ploy at this point. The fact that this is a ploy and it's using emotion to trigger people to purchase books is disgusting. That's probably one of the things that you'll see continually throughout all of these marketing ploys, which is why they are cheap and I hate them. Number 2 marketing ploy is the woke and the anti-woke garbage. Again, we're turning it into teams. We're turning it into an identity. You've had the rise of labeling things as woke.
So before you even go on with that, Ian, let me just say this much. So I think that there is definitely material out there, mostly from the mainstream, that you could certainly that could certainly fall under the umbrella of being labeled as woke content. But in terms of anti-woke, I've yet to hear any examples of what would constitute anti-woke content. I just know that I know for a fact that there are like sects as in SECTS of the underground scene where there's like effectively like subcultures and stuff like that, where it's like there's it may fall under the umbrella of like movements and stuff like that, where it's just people, creators that are just sick of woke content, period. Like, and they're very passionate about it, very willing to voice their opinions about how much they think woke content, what they label as woke content, to be trash fiction, trash product, garbage, and that kind of fuels the fire of inspiration for them to turn around and create their own works, create a market. And now I do definitely see that there is certainly that is becoming a market in it and of itself. In other words, what you're calling the anti-woke content, it's not that the books themselves or the products themselves, they don't call them anti-woke. They just call them, it is what it is. Like, they have stories that they are stories that just simply do not include what they label to be woke content. It's not necessarily anti-woke. I've yet to see any creator call their work anti-woke. I'm not saying that there may be someone out there that does. I don't know. I just haven't seen anybody say that yet about their own work, specifically saying my work is anti-woke. Like, what does that even mean? But I've had a lot of people that have stories that are saying that they're marketing their stories out there and advertising them as not having content that is quote unquote woke. So I mean, I guess that's a standpoint. In terms of marketing, in terms of teams or anything like that, like you're the woke team, you're the SJW team, or you're the quote unquote anti-woke team. I don't know. There's definitely some politics at play, and I'll touch on that as you get into this a little bit deeper.
Or as what was before woke? I don't even remember. Social justice warrior was before woke.
Yeah.
And so then I would say you're either with us or you're against us. And then it's in all of the writing groups as well, because people.
I'll say this much. In terms of you're either with us or against us, I would say, let's just go ahead and just address the elephant in the room. Let's say that, for instance, all the woke labeled content is on the left, and all the what you're calling anti-woke content is on the right. All right. So let's just say it like that and just draw the line right down the middle. I'll say this much. I think that in terms of the anti-woke crowd, I think that I've seen more creators from the anti-woke crowd are more open and accepting of a whole spectrum of different projects, of different creators. As long as you're not like, you're coming across as like some sort of outright, you know, you're not just trying to outright sell porn to kids, or you don't come across as some weirdo pervert, friggin' groomer type. Like, they're more or less open to, there's creators in that sphere that are open to talking about, raising awareness for, and addressing a whole, you know, array of projects. And I don't subscribe to any clique. I don't subscribe to any cliques or clubs or movements. I'm very much indie through and through. I'm my own individual. I stand on my own 2 feet. But I would say when it comes to hospitality, I have definitely received more hospitality, you know, because I consider myself a little bit more on, my work is a little bit more darker, a little bit more, dare I say, edgy. But I've received more hospitality from the folks on the anti-woke side than I have from the woke side. I've had plenty of people that I have barely even exchanged 2 words with, or have exchanged no words with, just outright block me preemptively on social media that would have came from traditionally what would be considered labeled woke. Even though I have given some of those same folks a fair shake on my own platform. In other words, talking about their works, mentioning their works, even though they weren't necessarily books or projects that I myself would have been interested in, because that's not what this is about. For me, I can see the forest for the trees in that regard. This is not a political thing for me. A cultural thing? Sure. But we can talk about ideology and culture another time.